A week that started with unimaginable tragedy ends with a somber remembrance this 4th of July. Good evening. Thanks for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Christian Garza. Mark has the day off. The brazen ambush against Coeur d'Alene firefighters on Canfield Mountain killed 2 and injured another. The shooter then took his own life. We have team coverage tonight, including some information on how to process the shock of this week. But first, we start with our Brandon T. Jones and the 4th of July parade paying tribute to the fallen.
Well, the 4th of July parade here in Coeur d'Alene is always a full display of community coming together. This year, that community with heavy hearts, making it a priority to pay their respects to the fallen heroes after the ambush on Canfield Mountain earlier in the week. So this year's parade started with a moment of silence accompanied by 2 horses with empty saddles, firefighter boots in the stirrups, facing backwards and helmets on the saddle horns. Behind them, crews and engines from both Coeur d'Alene Fire Department and Kootenai County Fire and Rescue. Thousands of people out offering their applause, condolences, and respects for the families and friends of these 2 heroes and the one who's still fighting in the hospital. We got a chance to speak with some of the bystanders and volunteers about what these early moments of the parade were like.
It was unbelievable. In fact, my friends were the ones that were carrying the banner for it from our Rotary Club, and everybody was crying, so it just again shows you how the compassion that this community has.
So it's been a challenging week here in Coeur d'Alene. After that initial tribute for these firefighters, the rest of the parade got underway celebrating the 4th of July, but still having on the top of their minds and in their hearts John Morrison, Frank Harwood, and David Tisdale as he continues those efforts to recover in the hospital. For now, reporting here in Coeur d'Alene, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
The Coeur d'Alene Fire Department announced that it will hold 2 celebrations of life to honor the 2 fallen firefighters. The ceremony for John Morrison will be next Thursday, July 10th, and the ceremony for Frank Harwood will be held next Friday, July 11th at the Hagedon Event Center in Coeur d'Alene. The families have requested the celebrations of life be for close family, friends, and uniformed personnel only. The fire department also shared addresses where people can send condolences. We have those up on our website, KREM.com. And the murder of these firefighters shocked the community of Coeur d'Alene. KREM 2's Caitlin Galloway talked with a local counselor about how communities can cope with grief.
Thanks, Christian. Local licensed professional counselor Haley Hansen has seen a lot of patients in her 10 years practicing in Spokane, but community grief is a different story.
Tragedies can take many forms. But they all have one thing in common. There's always a shocked, scared, and grieving community left behind.
There's still safe people and safe places to go to.
That's what the community is working to remember again after the ambush that killed 2 Coeur d'Alene firefighters and left 1 in critical condition. Local licensed professional counselor Haley Hansen says the communities did the right thing by showing up to honor the lives of the firefighters with a procession.
It seemed to be helpful and meant a lot to be able to honor the people who have been involved in helping their community.
While most of the community support has come from adults, tragedy also has an impact on kids, even those who see both the grief and support but don't understand what's happening.
Be honest with the kids and give an age-appropriate explanation and remind them that they are safe in your care and that they are loved and cared for, and you're going to make sure that you're going to protect them.
Making donations and attending community events in honor of the firefighters that were killed can help bring healing. But Hansen says even the smallest gestures can make a big difference.
Whatever sort of opportunities seem to come up is great. It could be as simple as waving to people in fire trucks when they drive by, being respectful whenever they have to interact with firefighters, even if it's something like they're enforcing burn bans, just being really respectful that they're doing their jobs.
More information about how to donate and honor the Coeur d'Alene firefighters killed in the line of duty can be found on our website, KREM.com.
In the newsroom, Caitlin Galloway, KREM 2 News.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. And nearly a week after the ambush, the fire set on Canfield Mountain to lure firefighters in is now fully contained. Starting today, crews are starting to move out as the response ramps down. At its peak, over 100 people were fighting the fire. Right now, crews are working to return the 23 acres of land burned to its natural state. Firefighters are starting to get a handle on the Seagull fire burning near Bonnie Lake. Investigators say the fire, which started on Wednesday and exploded to over 680 acres, was human-caused. Level 3 go now. Evacuations are still in effect north from Bonnie Lake to West Cheney Plaza Road, east to South Wells Road, and south to Baffis Place. At this hour, the fire is 10% contained. Fire crews are working with challenging slopes as they work to mop up the fire. Over 200 firefighters are tackling this fire. Switching things over to weather tonight, we are getting a bit of a break from the heat this weekend. Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo joins us now. Jeremy, for people maybe going out to celebrate the 4th of July tonight, what's the cloud cover looking like for fireworks?
I think it stays about where it is right now. But Christian, cloud cover right now is high enough in the air that they aren't going to, or the clouds themselves aren't going to obstruct any of those fireworks. It's a best case scenario if you're asking me. I've been saying this all day long. You can see a little bit of sun here on the South Hill coming through a break in the clouds, but overall, I would call it mostly cloudy. We sit right at 72 degrees. 72 degrees, but more importantly, a relative humidity of 34%. That is a big jump. That big jump in relative humidity puts moisture in the atmosphere that stops fires from spreading as aggressively, quickly, or as easily. And that's a good thing. Look at all the moisture though. The storm itself moving out to our west. And so all of this just tries to move over the mountains, but doesn't do so. It just doesn't quite have the energy or the moisture to get up and over the Rockies to us. So I think most of that moisture stays about there. There's a little model indication that early tomorrow morning, we might see a few showers move through. This is tonight. Watch what happens. It wraps around and moves in early tomorrow and then should start to move out right around the time you get up and get moving. The thing I don't like about it is how much moisture it puts and how widespread. So just plan on a couple of stray showers to start the day tomorrow, but mostly sunny skies quickly thereafter. And then we start warming and are back in the 90s next week.